Hello and welcome to another modeling video. This is Alan from the Makona Man at YouTube with another and the last update for the Providence Gundam. We've got the last of the bits primed and painted that needed a bit of cleaning up. The rest of it is going to be fairly straightforward. So these parts here have been top coated, weathered, awaiting drying and decaling. The shield bit needs to be decaled before assembled. It is 90% decaled. The gun is completely finished. Give it a polish, assemble, final top coat, and it's ready to be dispatched. More decals have been applied. Clear coat has been applied. Some of the detail in the shinies are quite lovely. We'll sub-assemble and more decals. First, this is the breakdown. We'll give it a quick assembly with PVA glue to hold it together. The backpack parts all laid out. Lots of painting. The thrusters have been shaded and there's been little pencil marks of weathering. Haven't decaled it yet, but we'll get to it once put together so we can see what's visible, what's not. Now, isn't that quite shiny and interesting looking? Flip it around. Check out the other side. Starting to come together. Pretty happy. Glued all the funnels onto it. Someone said they're called dragoons or something. Whatever. Going for some codpiece hip backside action. This is all assembled. Starting to look good. Really coming together. All assembled. Last amount of assembly, feet, legs, including lower and upper calf, inner frame, outer frame. A lot of parts. Got the legs and the feet finally assembled. Really digging that cutout detail. There we go, all the components are laid out. And final assembly required. Still some polishing and some decal work to go. Putting a few coats of lacquer clear, the sort of polished stuff that you put on a car, a bit on the hot side. Thinned it 50-50, 50-50 again with lacquer thinner. Chucked a ton of retardant, Mr. Mild retardant, about 15-20%, and it's coming out really glossy. More polishing and decals will be done tomorrow, but yeah, largest chunk bit together parts are on its way. So what's happened was pretty much Molotov with enamel with lacquer on top doesn't work out too well, and when the lacquer was applied in a few coats, over time it retained its heat and slid, taking the enamel with it and crazed ever so slightly. So it left me with a marble texture, which is cool, but I can't achieve the gloss look that I was looking for. But not all is lost. I did polish, cut and shine it, top coat it multiple times. Some of it's beautifully candied, some of it is not salvageable. Luckily it's around the shield and the legs by some miracle was what was affected. So these areas are being very heavily signature Makona Man style weathering with every technique I have under the sun, and a lot like my greys project, it's going to have weathering blending into a candy look, which I've done before, and it's pretty good. I do enjoy that effect. It's going to be a couple of layers of weathering. I do have a few more days to achieve, and it's all very achievable. So I've got the things like the head, the upper arms, the torso, the shins, some parts of the legs, some parts of the backpack, the funnels. It's going to be very, very glossy. In other areas, it's just going to go to chipped. The candy effect's going to chip to bare silver, and it's going to go to mud and soot and battle damage and whatnot, and it's going to blend through from a gradient effect of matte to gloss. It's going to be beat to hell, but it's going to have evidence that it used to be a candy straight out of the factory fantastic suit to something that's weathered in the natural areas around the thrusters, around the internals, that sort of thing. So we're going to keep working it in multiple layers and see what happens. At the moment I'm pretty happy, and this is what we got so far. So it's going to be pretty interesting. This is the final update. The next video will be showing how I built, modified, painted the rifle, and then the final video will be generally reviewing the whole kit. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content, and we'll see you guys later.